I can ask her to be heard on your behalf up to $50. You sure already did it, just this last.
Okay. Well, I haven't completed the paperwork. If you want to be heard, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So she's telling me, I think the practical issue here, Your Honor, is that I know it's only $50, the bond amount. That her sentence for her probation is gonna end, the jail time is gonna end on Monday, Your Honor. And she doesn't have anyone that she can contact right now, so she's just not gonna be able, I think, to post that bond. And I would note, as Your Honor noted, that it was a direct complaint that was issued on 4/26, so I don't think she did have notice of it. She was obviously
No,
here.
it's April 6th, not the
Yeah.
26th.
Oh, sorry, I have the warrant issued
no,
on.
You're right. I was misreading it.
Okay.
I got in custody of Maricopa on the first update.
Right.
Okay.
So I've been in
And
Maricopa
apparently filed the charges later.
next week.
I see. Oh, so she got extradited here. Okay. All right. So I guess, I mean, yeah. So she would ask you to consider releasing her to allow her to go to Phoenix, Your Honor. And one more thing I would note, Your Honor, it does look like she has a friend in the Phoenix area who did confirm some of her information and is willing to provide third-party custody.
All right. I'm going to release you on these charges to the Enhanced Supervision Program of Pretrial Services. That will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment treatment, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You need to call Maricopa County Superior Court on Monday for the first business day that you're out of custody for your next court date, and their phone number is on your paper.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
God bless you guys. Thank you.
No, good sugar.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Manuel Garcia.
Mr. Garcia.
Yes.
Citation charging you with shoplifting alleged occurred this morning. You also have an adult probation hold.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your next court date on this will be Monday at 1 o'clock. Douglas Taylor will be appointed to represent you. Bond will be $100. Conditions of release, you don't go back to any Walmart, and no alcohol or illegal drugs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you. So, see that there, buddy? In that far corner, I think. Well, wheelchair.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Phillips Johnson.
Mr. Johnson. Warrant here charging you with assault alleged to occurred on or about 5th of July of 2020. Looks like you may have had a court date back in September, that you missed.
I've been incarcerated this whole time, ma'am. Philip Johnson.
Okay, it's a misdemeanor. Sorry. Just want to check his memo.
Johnson.
Letter is misdemeanor.
Yeah.
When did you go into custody? Back in,
January of 20.
well, this is alleged to occurred in July of 20.
Yeah, I understand. Is there any way I could be heard on this, Your Honor? As the victim in this case, do I have any rights? Because it's causing me trauma and mental stress that every time they bring me back to the county jail, you guys drag me before the court, and I'm the victim in this case. I'm the one that pressed charges. I'm the victim.
You're listed as the defendant, not the victim, so.
Right, and I understand there was a mistake to be made, and that's what I'm saying. Every time you guys do this again and again, it's causing me mental anguish, and I'm the victim here. Is there a victim advocate I could speak to?
You may believe that you are the victim in this matter, but looks like you went into custody in prison on June 9th of 2021.
Right, I was in the county jail until then, from January of 2020.
So this is alleged, so you think this happened at the jail?
It happened at the jail, yes, ma'am. And I've tried to speak on this every time they bring me here, that I'm the victim.
Well, we're gonna do things a little differently this time.
Okay,
And that's going to be, we're gonna appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you on these charges, hold you on a $100 bond, and set a court date for Monday at 1 o'clock.
that would be, yeah, that would be even better. If it could be resolved by then, that'd be fabulous.
Well, you don't want to talk to your attorney.
Well, everything's recorded on video. The whole assault was recorded on video. They give me the state.
You'll talk to your attorney about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And I did note on the paperwork that you've been in custody since January of 2020, either in Pima County Jail or DOC.
Gentleman, Mr.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
David?
Lesser.
Coakley.
Mr. Coakley, I have 2 warrants and new charges here for you. Appears to be a problem appearing in court. This time I'm going to hold down a bond and appoint an attorney to represent you. Bond is $250. Adam Waters is appointed to represent you. Your next court date will be Monday at 1 o'clock. You're not to have contact with alleged victims. You're not to return to any of the incident location. We've got criminal trespass from July of last year, reckless burning from August of last year, and criminal trespass today. You're not to be in the river, on the river walk. Do you understand that? Do you understand that, Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Get back this one.
Those transferred over. He did.
Roser. I'm the third. Richard.
Okay, just curious. Okay. Let's see. Silly.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Lane Brewster.
introduced to waive reading, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and that either the counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to be heard. The state may too, but I know I do.
And nothing from the state judge.
Okay,
Nothing further from the state.
Your Honor, I know pretrial gave him no ROR, but as I was looking through this first, I read the interim complaint there. It's a little bit faded, so I couldn't get every detail when I was reading
Yeah,
it.
it's printed on fax paper and sent over, and it's
Okay.
difficult to read.
So in my understanding, it looks like there are up to 3 girls who saying that they had consensual sex with him. I understand that if you're a minor, you're not legally allowed to consent, but I do think the consensual element is important here when evaluating the pretrial services recommendation. Also, I think the 16-year-old, I don't know what date her birthday is, but I do believe there's a defense under ARS 131407.
Let me stop you for just a minute.
Yeah.
As I read it, he's not being charged
Or with the, okay,
for that. What he's being charged for is actually one victim
okay.
and an indication of consensual, yeah, but it was, a 15-year-old, and it was in exchange for things that would be illegal for that 15-year-old to.
Okay, I do understand that, Your Honor.
Okay.
I guess
So
my
that's
bigger,
what we're looking
okay, and I guess my bigger principle on that is that he doesn't have any criminal history or a juvenile criminal history. And I think that they maybe put him in the flag zone because it's being called a violent crime, where I understand legally it is, but I don't think there was actually violence here in this situation. So I'd ask you, I mean, I would ask you to consider releasing him to pretrial services without any criminal history, Your Honor. And he is a Tucsonian resident, and he does have a place to live. And he's just 18 years old.
at. Anything further from the state?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Preliminary hearing date's going to be June 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Bond is $10,000. If that bond is posted, you'll be under the third-party custody of pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Beginning right now, you have no contact with any minors. That includes your girlfriend. Alleged girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
She is under 18. You're not to go to any schools, parks, playgrounds, or anywhere minors congregate. You possess no marijuana, vaping supplies, nicotine, or tobacco. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Suggest you not discuss this matter any further with anyone except your attorney. Thank you, Mr. Brewster.
What's his name? Corey?
Corey Lucas.
Yeah, okay. Sit up for you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Hi.
Corey Hogan, Corey Lee Hogan.
You know the.
Mr. Hogan, I've got a couple of things here for you.
Okay.
We have a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with assault and aggravated assault. I believe these are also charges domestic violence cases. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And if either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Judge, I would just note that the defendant was previously released to pretrial services in the same matter and never made contact with them. And of course, the issuance of the warrant followed that. So the state would request the warrant amount.
Listen on this.
Okay, okay. Your Honor, I would just note, I would note a few things when Your Honor's taking into consideration, what you want to do in this situation. For the current case right now, the alleged
We're not
victim.
talking about the current case, that's a misdemeanor.
Oh, I know, I know,
It's a warrant.
I was just mentioning in terms of his housing and contact stuff. I apologize.
I've read pretrial services reports for both Mr.
Okay.
Hogan and Ms. Lindsay.
Okay, Your Honor. Then I would just say he didn't seem, excuse me, that he didn't seem to be aware, and he is homeless and phoneless. So I don't know if he knows that like the transition center outside or even pretrial services can offer him phones. I think a lot of people don't know that until their attorney tells them or they find out later on. So I'm not sure. It also does look like the arrest and the arraignment did happen in a very quick span of time, which is not a bad thing necessarily. It's just that, you know, you may not have gotten notice of that.
That's, he was in custody on the 15th of May.
Yeah.
And the arraignment was set for a week later, which is standard procedure. He was given the court date at that time. He didn't report to pretrial services and he didn't show up for his arraignment.
Okay, Your Honor.
Arraignment date is June 21st at 1:30. Bond is $2,500. Post the bond, you'll be distributed to pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. You possess no alcohol or illegal drugs. And if there were any previous conditions of release about no contact and no return, then you will need to abide by those as well.
Okay. Your Honor, I apologize. What did you say his arraignment date was again?
The 21st, always a week later. We also have new charges: domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, criminal damage, and domestic violence assault.
So, Mr. Russo, your arraignment, just your attorney.
Your next court date on these is going to be set for July the 15th at 9 o'clock in the morning. I will release you on these charges, appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Once you're out of custody, they may decide to withdraw since the state's not likely to be asking for jail time. Again, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Thank you, Mr. Hogan.
Thank you.
And Alma, we don't have an interpreter. Nope. And we need one. Okay. I haven't heard back from Stephanie. I haven't heard back from her, but. Okay. Yeah, but let me put this one. Okay.
Let's see that. In the fourth one, or else I guess.
Right, the street before I don't really turn on. I go right past McDonald's. Yeah. It's that close.
Thank you.
No, I have no problem. Okay, so are they gonna be in Estes for any length of time or?
They can't. And it's just hours. I guess she can't check in until Monday afternoon.
Okay,
So they're driving and they're staying in Longmont.
okay,
My brother always came from my years. When my brother was in band camp, he got friends with another French horn player who's originally from Longmont and is still some French horn player. So they're going to see her on Sunday So she would know fun things, yeah, to do. And then I guess once they can check Elena in, they'll start home and they'll get home sometime Tuesday.
Okay,
And then they gotta go back and get her in a couple of weeks. Okay, why she didn't fly, I don't know.
there's a, well, because it still hasn't yet. There's a fabulous little restaurant called You Need Pie. I mean, it's also called Estes Park something, but You Need Pie. And food is great. Pies are fabulous. If they're there overnight, there's a bakery, I think it's called Cinnamons. It's on the far end of town,
Yeah, and then it's
or in the park.
they didn't stay long on, not in Estes Park, because I guess they could get better deals. Yeah. And they're driving, so.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Olayo Castro,
We need a Spanish interpreter for him.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Just wanted to
¿Cuál es su
confirm.
nombre? ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Castro Sánchez Olayo.
Castro Sanchez Olayo, Your Honor.
Estamos esperando un intérprete, pero ¿sabes? Creo que está esperando su, ¿cómo se llama? Lo que ella atiende sobre su caso. ¿Ok?
Your Honor, would you like to skip this one? And put him after the felonies?
Okay, hang on. We may have an interpreter in just a minute, so let me.
Yes. No, it's for folk share customers. But I'll send it to you and the rich have the defendants.
Todavía estamos esperando al intérprete.
Está bien.
Ella cree que va a llegar prontísimo, pero
Ok,
no
está
sé,
bien.
no sé. Vamos a ver,
Ujú.
¿ok? Señor, creo que va a ser difícil convencerla. Ella le deje salir del cárcel porque usted tiene un DUI.
Yo tengo 4 años y medio encerrado.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Ahora?
Vengo de la prisión ahorita.
Ah, ¿sí?
Sí.
¡Ah!
Yo vengo de la prisión y ya estuve aquí en el condado. Tengo 4 años y medio encerrado.
Entiendo. 4 y media encerradas.
Sí.
Y también hay,
Un juez de inmigración, sí.
sí. Ok.
Estaba listo para esto, no, porque no sabía. No lo corrieron junto, no sé qué pasó.
Ujú.
Okay, we've got the interpreter on the line now.
Yes, Your Honor. Were you able to hear me, Your Honor? Just making
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Buenas noches, yo soy juez Shayet. ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Castro Sánchez Olayo.
Mr. Castro. I have a warrant here out of Pima County Superior Court.
Hay una orden de arresto por parte del Tribunal Superior del Condado Pima.
Charging you with 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor.
Hay 2 acusaciones por conducir bajo la influencia con agravantes.
Sí,
We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges.
Le voy a nombrar a un abogado de oficio para que lo represente.
Set an arraignment date for June 21st at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Su siguiente audiencia, que será una lectura de cargos, va a ser para el 21 de junio a la 1:30 de la tarde.
And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions? Noting there is an ICE hold.
Nothing
Yeah,
from the
you're-
state, Judge.
There is a nice one. I just would note that, I mean, this isn't gonna really matter, but I would note that he has been in custody the past 4 years. So there might be, some of the pretrial services stuff made it seem like he's been out, but
Y dice a la juez que si alguno de los abogados tiene algo que agregar, la abogada de oficio menciona que tiene una detención por parte de inmigración y también el hecho de que usted ha estado detenido en los últimos 4 años. Entonces, el informe de la agencia previos al juicio parece que indicó en el informe que usted había estado fuera.
No, yo tengo 4 años y medio encerrado, ni sabía que existía este caso.
Yes, I've been in custody for 4 years and I was not even aware that there was a pending case.
Yo creo que lo habían corrido todos juntos, de lo que me había dicho Margo, cuando era Margo joven, mi abogada, yo creo que lo había corrido todos juntos. Ni sabía yo que este estaba pendiente, ¿me entiendes?
And what I thought was that this was running consecutive. That's what I thought that my attorney, Mary Connens, told me, but I was not aware that this case was still pending.
Margot
Cohen. Yeah.
Cohen. Mhm.
Well, this matter was not resolved.
La detención. La departamento de inmigración. Entonces,
Bond will be 20.
¿me entiendes?
Pero si estiman esto, me voy para migración de derecho ya, ¿me entiendes? Se quería yo.
Sí, pero para ir a
Es lo que quiero yo. Pues no, lo que quiero es ir a hacer, porque es lo que iba a hacer, pues, saliendo de la prisión me iba a ir para allá, pero como salió esto,
Sí, ir para allá, para México.
tengo papeles yo.
Oh, aquí.
Sí, tengo papeles, pero
Ciudadano.
no soy ciudadano, soy residente.
Pero el caso va a
Para trabajar allá.
efectuar.
Sí, va.
Sí.
Mm. Sí.
So bond on this matter is $2,500. If you post the bond and immigration does not take custody of you,
Entonces, la fianza van a ser $2,500. Si usted llega a pagar fianza y inmigración no viene a recogerlo,
then you will be under the supervision of pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program.
entonces usted va a estar en libertad probatoria con servicios previos al juicio.
Sí puedo, pero quiero arreglar y terminar todo, ¿me entiende bien?
Entiendo.
Sí.
Es mejor.
Es mejor terminarlo
And
todo.
that will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment.
Y eso también va a incluir el tratamiento para el abuso de sustancias y salud mental.
You are not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you're not to drive with a valid license.
Y usted no debe de consumir alcohol o drogas y no debe de conducir sin una licencia válida.
Bueno,
Ujú. ¿Me va a poder dar la misma abogada que la Margo Cohen, la que tenía antes, o cómo va a estar la cosa?
Are you going to be able to assign me the same attorney that I had previously, Margaret Cohen?
I am assigning you to the public defender's office. It will be up to their office to decide who it gets assigned to.
No va a depender. Va a depender de la oficina de los abogados de oficio, a quién le van a asignar a usted en su caso.
¿cómo está? El mismo de la oficina, pero hace un rato ella Yo hasta en la oficina y no sé para qué.
Ahorita la María, ella sí ha sido abogada por 25 años.
Oh, sí.
Todo el tiempo con mis casos.
Ok, pues
Ya
vamos.
sabe muy bien de todo. Casi no entiende.
Claro, claro.
Sí.
Vamos a ver, pero no sé si ella está algo, pero que yo no la he visto desde hacía como casi unos meses de verdad.
Porque ella me dijo que me diera culpable de los casos que me fue la presión y que ella me iba a hacer mi abogada en migración. Pues,
Ah, claro,
Puede ser-
claro que sí, ella puede ser los dos.
esa era
Eso
la
sí.
situación que por eso me di culpable, porque ella me iba a ayudar allá en migración.
Ujú.
Iba a agarrar mi caso, pero
No, no,
nunca me dijo de esto.
sí, no, ella, no sé por qué, no sé, por qué.
That's a limit LMS. Yeah. Right, thank you.
Eso es todo, gracias. Was this the only Spanish speaking, Your Honor?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Alvarado. Take your arms up.
Do we have multiple defendants in the courtroom this evening?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
All right. And this is addressed to everyone in the courtroom. I need you to listen for just a few moments. Good evening, I'm Judge Shayette. This is the time set for initial appearances on felony matters. That is the time for you to be formally advised of charges against you, for me to set conditions of release in your next court date. You have misdemeanor matters as well. It's time for arraignment on those. Conditions of release will always include that you violate no laws, that you appear at all court dates, that you remain within the state of Arizona unless you receive permission of the court to leave the state. There may be additional conditions based on your history, your circumstances, and the events that occurred. It's not time to talk about facts of the cases. In fact, I would strongly suggest that you not discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney. And you, sir, are?
Hi, Colorado.
Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Alvarado, interim complaint charging you with third-degree burglary. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and that either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Your Honor, I just ask you to consider the fact that he has, no violent convictions. He does have one prior from 2016. It looks like the new pending case, he may not have known about it, and I say that because he's been in here, for about 4 months, so I don't know, I'd ask you. I think he's been in here.
Charges a little bit of, who are you looking at?
Maybe it's not him. I apologize, and I thought he was the one. I had it written down. Maybe I got that wrong. Okay.
No, these are charges that are alleged to occur today.
Oh, I apologize. You know why I wrote that? I apologize. He has not been in here. It's because I think he is homeless and has been living in Tucson. So I don't think he actually got any notice of his California case, Your Honor. But that's for the Los Angeles, California case.
Which we're not dealing with, so.
No, I know. I just meant in terms of, they said there was a warrant. So I just wanted to make note of that. That's all I have, Your Honor.
So, charges charging you with burglary alleged to have occurred today. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions of release?
I mean, I would ask that you consider releasing him to pretrial services, Your Honor.
Anything further from the state?
Yeah. No, Your Honor, my apologies.
Preliminary hearing date's June 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Bond is $2,500. If you post the bond, you'll be in a supervision of pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. You don't go to any Circle K stores. You don't possess any tobacco products. You understand that?
Yeah.
I also have a warrant for you out of Tucson City Court. Charges for shoplifting and possession of paraphernalia alleged occurred on May the 19th. Your next court date on this is going to be July the 16th at 2:00 in the afternoon. I'll release you on these charges and appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you since you are in custody on other matters. Once you're out of custody, unless the state's asking for jail, they may withdraw. Again, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no tobacco. You don't go to Circle K or Food City. And for out of custody, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Thank you, Mr. Alvarado.
Thank you.
It's Monday, right?
Thank you for these.
You got $2,500 bond.
What's what you say?
For now.
Let's see that first one. Green. Alvarado. How's that going?
Sorry, I'm giving
You're cold. I know it's cold.
It's okay.
Don't worry about
No,
it.
no excuses. I'm just letting you know if you see me shivering or anything.
I would shiver if I were you too, wearing a short sleeve shirt.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shayette, and you, sir, are
Jordan, rescreen, ma'am. Judge, I'm sorry.
Mr. Green. I have quite a number of things here for you. We'll start with new charges charging you with aggravated driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor, being in physical control. Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Your Honor, I apologize, Brad, if you.
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
Your Honor, defense would like to just give defense pitch. Your Honor, I would ask you to consider the lease owner's conditions for Mr. Green. Here, I would note that, I mean, I don't think he is a Tucson resident for 22 years. He is full-time employed, so he may lose employment if he remains here. He does have a girlfriend who confirmed all his information and will assume third-party custody. And that's pretty much all I have for now.
And I have 7 misdemeanor warrants.
Your Honor.
Preliminary hearing date on this is June the 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
So. In the meantime.
Bonded $7,500. If you post that bond, you'll be under the supervision of pretrial services and their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. No alcohol, no driving without a valid license. No alcohol in your residence or vehicles, and you're not to go anywhere alcohol is served or consumed. And you'll also engage in behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. And I have 2 warrants for you out of Marana. Charges that go back to September of 2022 for domestic violence assault, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. And charges from October of 2022 for shoplifting. Judge McDonald's requests are going to be held on a $2,490 bond on this matter. No alcohol or drugs, no acts of domestic violence need to abide by previous conditions of release. And again, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment treatment, and Janet Altschuler will be appointed to represent you on those charges.
You'll get more paperwork on this.
And we have charges from October the 29th of 2022 for criminal damage, failing to appear on December 1st of 2022.
These are responses at the time too, so it's still my fault.
Well, it's, I mean,
Court date on this will be on Monday at 1 o'clock. Bond is $100. Adam Waters is appointed to represent you on these charges. And I have charges out of Tucson City Court. Petition to revoke probation. Alleging didn't complete DUI substance abuse assessment and treatment, didn't complete mothers at driving victim impact panel program, didn't attend monitoring hearings. We have charges for domestic violence assault, which occurred on July 4th of 2022. Along with failures to appear. Charges for domestic violence disorderly conduct, domestic violence criminal damage on June 7th of 2022. Along with failures to appear.
Get my son back at least.
I mean, it's here. School years. It's a bit better.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, okay. I should have. I mean, yeah. That's, you don't know what's needed. I mean,
So you don't know oral.
it's the only thing I know about I do.
This date's not good. What's the date on purple sheets?
Oh. It is June 26, June 26.
So we just went through a miscarriage. That's all that marked. But I'm just trying to be there for her. So.
Yeah, of course. No, I understand. They'll give you paperwork.
I didn't know I was on it.
Okay.
And then additional charges from June of 2022 for drinking in public and criminal trespass. We'll reappoint Mr. Casares to represent you on these charges. Your bond is $2,499. Court date is June 26th at 1:30. Thank you, Mr. Green.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, take care of yourself first, okay?
Stuff in order.
Yeah, far corner. I will return. Thank you.
Hello. What's your name? She's gonna ask herself, but.
Enrique Leon.
Leon?
Yes, ma'am.
Enrique Leon,
Yes.
okay. All right.
Mr. Leon, I have an urine complaint here charging you with arson of an occupied structure and criminal damage. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Your Honor, I'd just like to point out things I know you have already read, but I would just like to point out that Mr. Leon, he does have one prior, but it's very, very old. It's from 1997 with termination in 2001. He is a 30-year resident of Tucson and he is a laborer full time. So when taking into consideration his bond amount, I'd ask you to consider, his employment.
Anything further from the state?
No, Judge, thank you.
Preliminary hearing date will be June the 24th at 1:30. Bond is $5,000. If you post the bond, you'll be in a recipient of pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include no alcohol or illegal drugs, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment treatment, no contact with the alleged victim. You don't go to the victim's residence or workplace. You possess no matches, lighters, lighter fluid, gasoline, kerosene, or other incendiary devices or flammable liquids. Do you understand that?
Apologies, Your Honor, I had on mute. He did say yes.
Thank you, Mr. Leon. And I suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney.
You will call us. Okay, we'll get you some insight soon, right?
Monday.
Yeah, Monday, because no one's in the office in the week.
You can't make no calls right now.
Um,
Leon, have a seat out there, bud. There's a couple of people between this one. Lindsay?
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Pamela Lindsay.
Ms. Lindsay, in a complaint charging you with domestic violence, aggravated assault, impeding an airway. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and that either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Your Honor, I apologize. I know you've said this before. Are you, if pretrial services, you would let us know if you're not adopting their
Correct.
recommendation? Okay, then I have nothing further to add. Your Honor.
Their recommendation, at least in terms of release or hold. And if they're recommending OR, I might put them on pretrial services, but
Understood. Her recommendation was pretrial services, so.
all right, your preliminary hearing date is going to be July the 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You'll be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment under their supervision, including a behavioral health assessment, treatment, and no acts of domestic violence. Thank you, Ms. Lindsay.
I apologize, Your Honor. Was it the public defender you appointed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so another piece going to open until Monday. This isn't. You have more info on it. Just need.
Sure.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are?
Isaac Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, interim complaint here charging you with criminal damage alleged to occurred earlier today. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would note, I think he might have been arrested for some misdemeanors at first. I would note the interim complaint, while I'm not saying it does not allege damage, it very clearly alleges damage. It does say that the damage was a class 1 misdemeanor, and then they charged him with an F6, and they have no dollar amounts on there. So I really don't know what that damage amount will be, if it will be a misdemeanor or a felony.
Mr. Chair.
Judge, I have nothing to add to the information from the interim complaint. I don't have any additional information.
And I will go ahead and dismiss the matter. That's just the felony matter. I also have charges charging you with disorderly conduct, assault, criminal damage, resisting arrest, and threats and intimidation. I'll appoint Adam Waters to represent you on these charges. Set a pretrial for Monday at 1 o'clock, 17th. You have no contact with Nancy or Edgar Valderrama. You're not to go to their residence or workplaces. Your bond is $2,499. Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Katrina?
Okay, that's good to know. It might end up, she probably can release you anyway, but I'll let her know that. Okay. So, it's good for you.
I didn't know about the charges. I had no idea. Yeah. Thank you. I'm trying. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are from 2022.
Yeah. They just came to my house today. I
Okay.
had no idea. So they were even charging me with anything. Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shea, and you are?
Katrina Mulford, Judge.
Ms. Mulford. I have warrant here out of Sierra Vista Justice Court. Charging you with possession of dangerous drug, possession of paraphernalia, alleged to occurred on October 22nd of 2022.
Yeah, the warrant was on 5/16, so that makes
So
sense.
do you
why-
have contact information for Sierra Vista Justice Court?
Are you asking if I have it? I'm
No,
sorry.
no, she's
Oh,
asking.
okay.
Never mind, I can figure it out. No, I've got it. I've got it.
I'll make sure you have it.
You need to contact Sierra Vista Justice Court. I put their phone number on the paperwork. It also automatically populated for Cochise County Superior Court phone number. Conditions of release, no alcohol or illegal drugs, substance abuse assessment and treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. She's going to Left Frontier on Monday, Your Honor. She already has a scheduled meeting.
You need to call Sierra Vista Justice Court on Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben, this one? You.
I think ROR, yes. Your Honor, it was ROR?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Terrace,
Yes, Judge.
no, never mind. I was looking at something else. Never mind. That's already been taken care of.
I'm really sure about the computer.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade and you, sir, are Mr. Munguia. I'm going to see you on misdemeanor warrants. You do have an adult probation hold. So I have charges from that go back to 2020. January 1st of 2020 for shoplifting, along with failures to appear. Looks like I had a court date in December of last year. Didn't appear. We'll set a pretrial for you on Monday at 1 o'clock. Bond of $100 and appoint William Parvin to represent you on those charges. Then I have warrants out of Tucson City Court, charges for shoplifting on July 8th of 2023. Threats and intimidation, failures to appear in court. Charges from December 4th of 2023. Threats and intimidation and shoplifting. And failures to appear in court, and then charges for misconduct involving weapons. Looks like August the 28th, 27th of 2020. Along with multiple failures to appear. We'll appoint the City Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond will be $250. Video review will be June the 24th. They may move that based on the status of your adult probation hold. No alcohol, illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with victims. Don't go back to incident locations. Thank you, Mr. McGee.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possess.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Caitlin Oates?
Ms. Oates. Interim complaint here charging you with possession of new drugs and possession of paraphernalia. I'm going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. You appear to be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS. Require you to participate in a treatment plan specific to your needs for a period of time. If you choose to participate and successfully complete the program, then these felony drug charges would be dismissed before they're formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from custody and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing next week?
Yes.
I'm going to release you to the third-party custody of pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment treatment. Your next court hearing is going to be on June 24th. It's a week from Monday at 9 a.m. in the Pima County Superior Court. And time waived for preliminary hearing. Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Preliminary hearing date we'll set right now for July 31st. No, let's make it August 7th.
Diversion, correct? Okay, sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Oates.
Thank you. Okay, we're ahead, okay?
That all?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Good night, Your Honor.
Good night.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.